I will also say this to you that the right attitude is important every single day, even on the days when you feel like you can't. The right attitude is important. And right attitude include activated your mindset, activate your body, your spirit, activate those things, right? It includes importance, right? Just being understanding the importance of having that right attitude to fulfill your goals, your desire, and your dream, and be of service. And when I say be of service in this specific terms, I am addressing my fellow colleagues in the business. Be of service to people.
Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of World Class Mindset. As you know, each week I try to bring in special guests who I feel can inspire you and me by sharing their story of how they came from where they were to where they are. And we have with us today Tomlin Douglas. Tomlin, good to see you. Good to have you here this morning. How you doing?
I am doing extremely well. Been back from a month away, been training, so I'm extremely excited. And I will say thank you very much for this opportunity. And honor is not the word that how I feel today just to be in this experience. I'm very, very, very beyond honored just to be chosen to sit with you here today, Eric.
Thank you, Tomlin. And me and everyone watching are honored by what we obviously all see right now, that you are serving our great country. Thank you for your service on behalf of everyone that is watching this broadcast and anyone and everyone who gets to know you. You're not just in your fatigues because you're about to go do Renaissance or cognitive or whatever, right? You're in your
every day is a sacrifice.
Right. So what I'd like you to do is start by telling us, Tomlin, exactly where are you right now and what is it that you're doing right now in your life? One of the things.
So where am I right now? Basically, physically, I am located on based doing my active duty responsibilities. But of course, every day for me is a sacrifice. So I have to strike a balancing act between, other things and prioritize. Consequently, I am here with you right now.
Right. So you're serving our country, you're performing your duties, but you've taken some time out to talk. I guess I want the audience to know that you're actually engaged right now.
Correct.
In providing the service to our country. So again,
correct.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. So let me ask you this, Tom, and let's get started. What was your mindset when you went into the military to serve our country? What motivated you to do that?
So, I joined the military back at 19 years old was when I joined the military. And I think one of the most important things for me joining the military was the importance of being able to sustain myself, able to be independent, and also being able to do that while being at service to not just family, but to my country in general and to people that I come in contact with every day. As you know very well, soldiers, military folks are not just here and about everywhere just like that. We defend our Constitution on a daily basis. That's our primary goal, our primary objective. And because of doing that, it allowed me to be myself and at the same time being able to grow.
Now, you say 19, and I know that you're maybe a little bit more than 20. So how many years have you been serving?
42.
How many years?
22 years. July 9 will put me at 22 years.
22 years serving. So when you first started, it was the duty to serve. What keeps you going? What motivates you to continue to serve our country?
So my state of mind is a big deal for me. Every day that I wake up, I know that it's a sacrifice just to be alive. It is to be a sacrifice. Mind, my body, my soul. When I wake up in the morning, I meditate, I work out, and I try to get something very healthy to eat in the mornings. Those are how I start my day. And when I talk about meditate, someone will think about, probably you just sit down or you take a kneel and you pray and you do the traditional way of how people would acclimatize meditation, but that's not what I do. I'll get up, I'll drink a little bit of water, and then I'll sit down and I just think for a second. I structured my day as to how it's going to go. And then I get right into my exercise routine. I work out. And while I'm working out, I am planning my day as to how things are going to go step by step. As we all know, nothing is perfect, you know. And I personally do not believe in perfection. I believe that that is something that we constantly work towards. And if we constantly work towards perfection, that could help you to actually achieve goals that you set.
How has that routine, that early morning routine, and what you
Mhm.
do prepared you for your career at AIL? Because what most people who don't know you don't know is that in addition to serving your country, you're
Mhm.
also now with our company. And in fact, you're the number one producer in our agency. And by the way, it looks like you're climbing up the national rankings there, Mr. Tomlin Douglas. I'd like to see
Thank
you up
you.
on that stage. But what has those things, how has those things helped you prepare for your career and for where you're at right now in your career at AIL?
So, Coach, one thing that I've learned over the years is that I have to have a vision. And with that vision, I got to align myself with my mission, right? And I set those things, vision and mission, I align those together because if I have a vision, I'll know where I'm going and what I'm getting at. I set objectives and I align those. This is step one, step two, step three, and these are the things that I need to do. Of course, within those, I realize that there will be setbacks, there'll be obstacles. But at the end of the day, another thing that I go by each day is that if you find a pathway in life where there's no obstacles, it's you probably don't exist at all. It just don't exist. There's nowhere in life that you'll move forward and you don't exist. And also with that, I align myself with sacrifices again. I use that word often and often every single day because I believe in it. If you believe in something, you'll understand, and it's easy for you to portray that onto others because you won't have to force anyone. You shouldn't be in the business of persuading other people. You should just live your life and be free. But to answer your question, though, in alignment with my military career and the opportunity that AIL has offered me, to me, it's actually very easy. And I would say that because AIL gives me the tools to do my job. It
Right,
really does. It
right.
gives me the materials and the tools, and all I have to do is show up and be consistent. Show up and apply myself. Show up, the rewards are there. They speak for themselves, and be humble.
Yep.
Humility is the order of the day for me. You mentioned about being the number one producer in our agency, being climbing up the trajectory of getting on the national stage. Yes, those are goals, but at the same time, humility for me. I don't get up every day and I look at the numbers and I see, oh, where I'm at, where's the next person at. I get up every day and I said, these are my goals and these are the things that I
Yep.
constantly have to work towards. And if my
Yes.
mind is okay, my body is healthy, and I'm in the right spirit,
Love it.
I'll be on my way there.
How do you manage? Because a lot of people watching this right now, like you, they have other roles or other responsibilities, whether it's being a parent, a spouse, taking care of
Mhm.
aging parents. I've seen this happen. People having multiple children, single parents. How do you juggle and manage both? How do you manage all of that and manage your time?
And you hit it right on the head. Those are things that I deal with every single day. Deal with
Mhm.
things like having a mom that I have to take care of as well. I have a wife, I have two kids, I have my job that I am in a leadership role that I have to fulfill those responsibilities. There's no you're gonna do this and you leave that one. There has to be that balancing effect. And for me, every day I got up and I think about it and I start working maybe by 5 o'clock in the mornings. Doesn't mean that I'm physically working, but my mindset is
Mind is
actually
work.
working. When I open my eyes at first in the morning, I started thinking. Sometimes I'll text my folks here and there, and I said, "Hey, bear with me when I get in the mornings because I'm gonna be going like this real quick. Mornings, I'm great. So this is the things that we gotta accomplish today." And it's the same things that I practice when I transition over myself to the AIL process because I know what my goals are. And in order to achieve those goals, I have to be consistent. In order to be consistent, that means I have to show up every day. I got to keep showing up, even when it gets hard, even when I feel like it's tough. Just like in my workout routines, some days I'm tired mentally and physically. I don't want to show up at the gym. I don't want to exercise. But you know what? Those days are the best days. When I show up when I'm tired and I reap the rewards and I exercise and I feel great. Same thing with AIL. It rewards you. You don't have to do the extraordinary, but you can be extraordinary by just showing up.
There are days where it's not so good, where it's tough. Let's see if we can
Yes.
flip the clock back. I know
Mhm.
you not as long as I will in the future. So I don't know what's back there in terms of adversities, some challenges that you had to overcome that allowed you some of your upbringing. I don't know. Can you kind of take us back to back when you had some of these adversities? Anyone in particular that kind of put you at a crossroad or taught you something? As an example, as you know, I had a motorcycle accident, and that was a
Hmm.
profound moment for me. Not everybody has those, quote, profound moments where it
Hmm.
changed my life. I lost my home, so I was living in the back of a van. That was a moment. What about you? Were there any moments growing up? Were there moments during your 20 years of military, of adversity and real challenges that helped support and shape your mindset?
So, like you mentioned, there are many of us who endure challenges in our life and sometimes have changed our mindset. For me, I am absolutely no different. When I was 6 years old, I lost my dad. Lost my dad. And growing up in life, I thought that was probably one of my greatest lost. Um, but when I think about your question a little bit deeper, I think, and I said, there's absolutely nothing that I endure as an adversity that I think I would have want to change or would have wished that it didn't happen to me. And the reason why I think about it like that and answer, and I believe that is absolutely the case, is because those experiences, they've all taught me something different.
I was
They've
going to
all
ask
taught
you
me
that
about,
that loss. How did
yes,
that loss shape you? Go ahead, keep going, keep going.
it gave me that zeal. It gives me that sort of resilience. It gives me that kicker. It gives me all. It allows me to free my vulnerabilities. It allows me to not be fear. It allows me to understand the difference between ego and the difference between and pride. It allows me to understand that being egoistic is not positive. It's a negative thing. But being pride is allowing you to be proud of what you've accomplished as a result of your sacrifices. So, when I grew up, I remember getting married at 22 years old, you know, and I
Very,
remember when I had my first big argument with my wife. We had our first, as we would call it, quote unquote, fight in these days, not physically, but we had an argument, and that was the first time I actually cried as a man. And the reason why I did is because I had so many unanswered questions that I wished I could have asked my dad. And I realized that he wasn't there and he had never been there because my mom had made us feel so comfortable while growing up. Like as a single parent, I lost losing her dad at 6 years old, you know?
so it was
And
your mom. It was your mom then, much like mine, that stepped in, filled that role. Yeah.
she did. She absolutely did. And up to today's day, every time there's Father's Day, I always honor her on Father's Day, not just Mother's Day. I honor her on Father's Day too. And I realized that over the years, she's looked forward to it because she's gotten used to it. So those type of things have shaped me, but all my adversities, I honestly believed that I wouldn't have traded them for anything. I
Oh,
remember back in 2001 when I graduated military training, I said, if someone paid me $1 million, I would have never done this again. Absolutely. But over my career, I've done so many other training and been in so many other situations that while those years at 19 years old was absolutely, scary and rough, and you could equate it with so many different other words that would, make you feel like, wow, what the hell have you done? I honestly wouldn't have traded those years for
beautiful,
anything at all.
beautiful.
Absolutely not.
So that was really one of my other questions I was going to ask you. If you could redo a
Hmm.
particular difficult time in your
Hmm.
life or a challenge in your life, would you? And if so, what would it be and why or why not?
Prior to you asking this question, it's funny because I've been on this road already, having done, introspection and retrospection on myself a couple of years ago. And that was a painful process. It was. But no, my answer is categorically no. I wouldn't have redone anything that I've been through because it has shaped me, shaped my mindset. And another thing I want to say, this program here that you have, when I looked at it and I saw mindset, I was floored because I was just like, wow, what was he thinking about the name of this program? Because it really speaks to me. It connects with me, with who I am every single day. It really does.
Wow.
Your
Wow.
mindset shapes you, prioritizing, having an open mind approach to things, being optimistic, the right attitude, those things shape your mindset. If you show up every day with the right attitude, the right practice, being understand that you have to be of service, understand that you have to be patient, understand that you have to be resilient, understand that you gotta balance your emotions. How you react to situations can be the determination of whether you go high or low. It can create that balance for you. And those are some of the things that I really, really do pride myself on every day.
I can tell, as I'm sure all our viewers and anyone that gets to know you, you got a very, very great mindset. Your mindset is obviously very, very solid. You're in a tough spot. How do you go through some of these adversities? What's the steps that you take? Because people listening, often we all struggle. We all
Mm-hmm.
struggle. We all fall down. And it's your mindset that gets you obviously back up. But is there anything more than that? Like, what causes you to fall down and then get back up? How do you do that?
You, like every other human being, I would say rewards are great. Rewards are absolutely great. When you have a goal, you have a vision, you align your mindset with that, you know that irregardless of the situation, irregardless of the circumstances, irregardless of the pain, you know that sacrifices, once you sacrifice for something and you
Mhm.
receive that reward, you're going to be happy. It's going to benefit you.
Yeah.
And not only you, if you're a person that is off service, it will benefit others too.
Mm, mm,
And when I think about those things, my family, by extension, my friends, to some degrees, people who I connect with on a day-to-day basis. For example, here at AIL, when I'm dealing with a client, I'm meeting with a client to produce the policy for a client, I'm not into the business of persuading you or convincing you why you need to get a policy. I'm here to offer what is here for you and allow you the opportunity to take advantage of it. That is my strategy in going in dealing with clients. I'm here to connect with you and show you that, hey, this is here for you and this is the reason why you should take advantage of it.
beautiful.
Because oftentimes
Beautiful.
some people can get a policy for what, $150, let's just say hypothetically, per month. How many dinners probably you'd get with that, or how many lunch you'd get with that per month? Some people goes to lunch every day. They don't bring a salad to work. They don't bring a sandwich to work. So those are some of the things that I think about with my mindset when I
I
when I
love it.
really
I
practice
love it.
day to day, just going
Yeah.
into business.
What is it that you think people can get that they sometimes don't get by not going to the military? Do you feel like you've had some advantages? And if you do, what are those advantages? And what can people learn from someone like you who is serving our country and who has that discipline and that mindset?
So values, ethics, morals are really important. Work ethics, it's absolutely essential. When you feel like you want to sleep in or you want to watch Netflix or you want to watch Peacock or whatever you watch, your work ethics are gonna play a role. That's gonna be the difference between the beginning of your week and the end of your week, or the difference between how you spend your summer, your Christmas, or how your family lives. Those things matter to me. Work ethics is absolutely important. And I am fortunate to say, I learned that from a young age. These are not things that we were born with, these are
Right.
things that we learn. Reading is another thing. And God bless you, Eric. Thank you so much. If it's one thing that you've got me hooked on, is reading a lot more. It's something that I used to do when I was
Mhm.
young and I had stopped, but I've gotten back into it and I really appreciate it. I just want to tell you that for sure.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
reading absolutely is helpful. Listening to positive things, surrounding yourself with positive people, positive energy. Energy is something that transcends out in the air. And if
Mhm.
you're with 5, 10, 15, 20 people and they're all positive, guess what? You're going to be positive. If they're wealthy, you're going to be wealthy. This is just these things that are feeding themselves. And I will just tell you, that's one thing that is important to me. It is something that I've attached myself to. I've locked myself onto it, and I believe in it. And if you don't believe that you can achieve,
Mhm.
that is probably going to be one of your
Yeah.
biggest and greatest downfall. Believe in.
Was there a moment in your life where things looked really, really bad and you really weren't sure which way to go? If you can go back there, what did you do, or what was your mindset then, and how did you bounce?
There have been, I will say, there have been some times that I've had some of those
Do you have a
situations as
particular
well.
one in particular that comes to your mind that you want to share?
Um, so I remember, my situations are often unique about the ones that I I do share, but I remember when I migrated here and I started having my family and everything. And I remember later on in life, this was probably about, I want to say maybe about 10 years. Yeah, wow, amazing. 10 years
Decade.
to date ago when we bought, me, my wife and I, we bought our first home. And after we, made all the sacrifice and we spent and everything, we had about probably about $10 left in our account. And we had borrowed probably about $5,000 from someone to add our
To get the
closing
house.
costs.
Yeah.
Yes. And when we got our house, things just took a downturn from there. It really did. Like most people would tell you, after you buy a house and everything, you're just broke. You're completely broke. And things took a downturn for us right there.
Mm.
And we needed to get some stuff done on the house, a little bit of refurbishing, stuff like
Mm.
that. And then a few months later, my wife was pregnant with her second kid.
Wow. Let's
Yes,
grow this. Let's grow this
yes,
family, huh?
yes.
Forget the
Her
house. Let's grow
second,
the family.
yes, and I actually had to go away as well within the same time for military duty again. One of those other situations that you just had to go
Mhm.
and being broke, just moving into a place that needed some work, and you have a wife with one little girl and another on the way.
Way.
That was very interesting, it was. And I had to get it together for a moment. I really had to get it together
How'd
for
you
a
do it?
moment.
How'd you do it? What'd you
I
do?
actually took on two additional jobs. That's what I
Okay.
did. When I was
Okay.
off my military duty, I started working at Best Buy as a sales supervisor. Did that. And I also at night did security.
Wow. So here you're
I
serving your country and you're working two extra jobs.
I did. I did.
So the way you handle adversity is, let's get to work. I got to dig. Let's go.
Yes, yes, because I am a solutions type guy. I don't see problems. I don't attach to problems. I don't connect with them. I don't even want to understand the problem, to be honest. Once a problem comes up, I'm looking at it, I assess it, and I am on to overdrive for solutions. That's
Gotcha.
literally how I am. So,
I got to follow up with that. You're getting support from your wife. I often have people I love dearly. They're just not getting that support at home, and it
mhm,
is really impacting them. What has the support of your wife
mhm.
done for you? Did it have, how much of a role, and what role does it play in your mindset, in your life?
Coach, that's a beautiful question. And I'm glad you asked that question because, as you mentioned, many folks sometimes don't get the support that they need, whether they're in our business or any other business, if you will,
Mhm.
and especially from, close family, relatives, or whatever. And personally, I don't rely on the support of others. I dig deep for that inner motivation because
Mm.
I believe that if I show up with my best self every day, it will help and it will allow others to see the best in me, and they'll have absolutely no choice but to support me. That's how I go about
Love
doing
it.
that. I don't
Absolutely.
rely on others to support me, to motivate me. I don't rely on it because, you
Yeah.
know, self-motivation to me is one of the best thing. And over the years, that is what has gotten me to where I'm at these days. And that's why I understand the difference between, being proudful of yourself, being egotistic, and humility. That's why I understand those things.
What I hear as I wrap up with you is
Mhm.
that you're kind of the school, like many of us are, that there are no angels out there or anyone going to come save me. It's me that has to save me. I have to get my mindset right. And as long as I'm productive and I do what I got to do, I'm going to get that support. In addition to being goals directed and driven as you are. Um, as we close out this visit, is there anything else in your mindset that you want to share, or anything else that you want to share with us regarding developing this incredible mind of yours and how others can have this mindset? What would they have to do?
I will say yes, absolutely. I will share this with you. And optimism, humility, and sacrifice are beautiful things to have as qualities for an individual.
Love it.
I will also say this to you that the right attitude is important every single day, even on the days when you feel like you can't. The right attitude is important. And right attitude include activated your mindset, activate your body, your spirit, activate those things, right? It includes importance, right? Just being understanding the importance of having that right attitude to fulfill your goals, your desire, and your dream, and be of service. And when I say be of service in this specific terms, I am addressing my fellow colleagues in the business. Be of service to people. Don't go into stuff with doubts and believe that you have to force someone to do things. Teach them, help them to understand why this is for them and for their family. And that's how you be of service to someone.
Wow. I can't think of a better way to wrap this up. Be of service to others as you are to your family, to our country, to yourself. I can't thank you enough, Tomlin. Can't wait to see you soon again. I know that you've been away for a while. Good to have you here. You spoiled me today with your visit. Thank you so much, Tomlin. Good to have you here, and God bless you and your family.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Thanks for honoring me with this opportunity. And I appreciate you being able to be vulnerable and just teach it to us and impart all this knowledge that you have on us. Thanks a lot.